During a 7-day campus lockdown, all of us received a text message. Please follow these 25 rules. You can leave the campus after the lockdown is lifted in 7 days. Students who leave early. I was in the middle of my advanced mathematics class when I received a text message. 1. Do not answer any questions from the teacher. 2. If the teacher prolongs the class, ignore it. Do not stay in the classroom after class. 3. Do not skip classes. Keep quiet in the classroom. 4. The library is absolutely safe. You can stay for up to 2 hours. Keep quiet in the library, or the librarian will punish you. 5. The dormitory is absolutely safe, but only from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. 6. The study room is safe. You can stay for up to 1 hour. You can talk to your classmates, but the people in the study room might not be normal. 7. If the people inside the dormitory don't open the door, no one outside can enter. 8. After 11 p.m., do not open the door to anyone doing room checks. 9. Do not turn off the lights when you sleep. The lights will turn off by themselves. 10. If you see someone wearing a red high hat in the dormitory hallway, immediately seek help from the dormitory manager. Do not look back. 11. If you have any problems inside the dormitory, find the dormitory manager. If you have any problems outside the dormitory, find the counselor. 12. Do not go to the principal's office. 13. Do not eat the meat buns from the cafeteria. 14. Stay away from the cats on campus. Do not feed them. You cannot choose what you give to the cats. 15. There are no dogs on campus. Stay away from people who see dogs. 16. Be cautious of the student council. There are no people in the student council. 17. Do not leave the dormitory after midnight. Wait until daylight. 18. Do not eat anything or talk to anyone in the exterminated dormitory. 19. Do not talk to people in the bathroom stalls. 20. Before going to bed, make sure your roommates are normal. If you find any abnormalities, say the dog is outside and lock the door with the abnormal person outside. 21. Try to ensure the safety of your roommates. It is hard to survive alone. 22. Do not eat too much. Do not be greedy. 23. Do not easily trust others. 24. Survive for 7 days. After the lockdown is lifted, take bus number 17 and leave. 25. Do not leave the campus before the lockdown is lifted. I finished reading the message and looked around. My classmates were all looking at each other, seemingly having received the same message. I wanted to talk to my roommate, Tao Ran. Keep quiet in the classroom. I closed my mouth and opened WeChat to send a message to my dorm group. I asked, did you guys get the message? Tao Ran, yeah, it's a prank. I don't believe it. Zhou Iqiang, a prank wouldn't be sent to the whole class, would it? Tao Ran, you don't believe it? Then stand up and shout, see if you die. Tao Ran, screw you. Sun Huawen, although it's unscientific, there are many things in this world that cannot be explained by science. We should not act rashly. Then Xiaozhe sent a dog head emoji. Huang Pang, I second that. The classroom was temporarily silent. Suddenly, there was a burst of laughter. Ha ha ha. The laughter came from in front of me. I looked up and saw a guy engrossed in scrolling through Douyin, probably not even noticing the message. The laughter was particularly abrupt in the classroom. The teacher stopped lecturing and let out a mechanical laugh. Hee hee. The curve of the teacher's smile was terrifying. No one dared to make a sound. Disrespecting the teacher comes with consequences. After saying that, the guy scrolling through Douyin froze, his eyes lifeless as he slowly lifted his head. His body started to rise, eventually hanging in midair. Drip. Red, unknown liquid dripped slowly from the guy's body. I gasped in fear. Some timid girls screamed, meeting the same fate. The classroom returned to dead silence. The teacher continued lecturing. Our dorm group chat exploded. Tao Ran. What the hell? The message is real? Zhou Iqiang. I've decided. After class, I'll go to the library. Who knew my first time going to the library would be under such circumstances? Sun Huawen, I'll check out the study room and see if I can gather any new information. Me? Sun, you're a hero. Our dorm's lives depend on you. Sun Huawen, don't casually say the word dog. Xiaozhe, Gutang, can you see dogs? Me? Screw you. You scared me. I've been beside Tao Ran the whole time. Don't slander me. Huang Pang, I vouch for him. Ding dong, the class bell rang. The advanced mathematics teacher seemed not to hear the bell and even called on students to answer questions. Do not answer any questions from the teacher. If the teacher prolongs the class, ignore it. Do not stay in the classroom after class. The 6 of us grabbed our things and ran out. From now on, today counts as the first day. Zhou Iqiang and Huang Pang went to the library. Xiaozhe and Tao Ran, who originally planned to skip class, reluctantly went to their next class. I decided to go to the study room with Sun Huawen to gather information. The people in the study room might not be normal. Before entering the study room, Sun Huawen reminded me. The study room was bustling, with people chatting and even some bringing snacks as if it were a tea party. None of us, including myself, realized the severity of the situation. A week isn't a long time. As long as we follow the rules, nothing will happen, said a guy with thick-framed glasses. It's not that simple, said a girl with a high ponytail who looked like she was good at English. Sun Huawen joined the discussion. The threats we know of now are three: teachers, room checkers, and the student council. Obviously, there are also unknown threats, said a guy wearing a blue baseball cap. I'm Tang Jin. We introduced ourselves. The guy with glasses was Li Yun, and the girl was Gao Tiantian. The question now is, the library, study room, and dormitory are safe. Why are we escaping to these places? What are we avoiding? Sun Huawen hit the nail on the head, as expected of him. Li Yun gasped. I remembered something. What did you remember? I asked. Dead classmates. I just saw a classmate on the way, but he clearly died in class. Sun Huawen immediately asked, did he attack anyone? Li Yun shook his head. We fell silent. Dead people appearing again, intact. What is their purpose? At this moment, a new student walked into the study room. When I saw his face, my body went cold. It was the guy who was scrolling Douyin in front of me last class. How could he be here? He sat in the front row, chatting and laughing with the other students as if nothing had happened. I looked at Sun Huawen, who frowned, clearly noticing him too. The people in the study room might not be normal. The words echoed in my mind. I had a vague conclusion. Dead people might not directly harm the living, but their presence must have a purpose. I have an immature conclusion, Tang Jin said. Dead people might not kill directly, but they might use some method to kill indirectly. I agree with Tang Jin, Sun Huawen nodded. Hearing Tang Jin's words, I got goosebumps. Dead people like to kill indirectly. Today is the first day. Most people in the study room are still normal. As the days go by, the significance of communication in the study room will diminish. In the end, most of the people in the study room won't be trustworthy, Gao Tiantian suggested. Why don't we come up with some questions of our own and ask each other when we meet next time? If someone can't answer, that person is the mole, and we'll stop communicating with them. How about that? Can you guarantee that dead people lose their memories? I asked. Go check out that guy. Sun Huawen gave me a look. Clearly, he meant the guy who was scrolling Douyin. You want me to investigate a dead person? No way. I'm scared. It's okay. The study room is safe. That's true. The study room is safe. I mustered up the courage and walked to the guy. Brother, can I ask you something? Sure, ask away. He seemed perfectly normal. I felt much more at ease and asked, what class were you in last period? University physics. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Come again next time. No thanks. I don't want to see you again. I went back to my seat and told Sun Huawen and the others what I found. Now we could confirm that the memories of dead people were mixed up. So, Gao Tiantian came up with 3 questions for us. First, the oden at the third cafeteria is pretty good. What do you like to eat? My answer should be white radish. Sun Huawen's answer should be cola. Gao Tiantian's answer should be rose. Tang Jun's answer should be basketball. Li Yun's answer should be the third cafeteria doesn't have oden. Second, what movies have you watched recently? My answer should be, do you have a napkin? Sun Huawen's answer should be, there's no crow in school. Gao Tiantian's answer should be, Hamlet. Tang Jun's answer should be, I like broccoli. Li Yun's answer should be, give me a break, you poser. Third, what time do you usually go to bed? My answer should be, I can't sleep. Sun Huawen's answer should be, as soon as the lights go out. Gao Tiantian's answer should be, recently I've been taking care of my health. Tang Jun's answer should be, people need sleep. Li Yun's answer should be, 11:30 p.m. Looking at the time, it was almost an hour. People were starting to leave the study room. This place isn't safe for long. Take care, everyone. I left the study room with Sun Huawen. Today is the first day. As I walked around campus with Sun Huawen, it felt no different from usual. Most classmates were still normal. It was only around 6:15 p.m. We couldn't go back to the dormitory yet. Surprisingly, the library was packed, even though it wasn't near finals. But this situation wouldn't last long. When the abnormal people outnumbered the normal ones, the library would be less crowded. The library had a hidden function, measuring the ratio of dead people to living people. Library packed. Congratulations, your surroundings are still relatively normal. As long as you follow the rules, you can survive. Seats start appearing in the library. Those who only follow the rules are being eliminated. Library half empty. On average, 1 out of every 2 people you meet is abnormal. Library more than half empty. You're surrounded. If survival is harsh enough, most of those who survive have something special. Can I survive? I ask myself. I think, to survive, following the rules alone isn't enough. Machines are best at following rules. I have a feeling that to make it to the end, we must be flexible and adaptable without breaking the rules, Sun Huawen suddenly said as we walked. How do we be flexible? How do we adapt? I'm not quite sure yet, but survival is never easy. We must fight for our lives to have a chance. I have a hunch that while following the rules, we must also create some new ones for ourselves. I summarized Sun Huawen's words. Create new rules that allow you to survive without breaking the existing ones. I was truly fortunate to have a friend like Sun Huawen. Being with someone so intelligent made me feel like my IQ was elevated. Sun Huawen, I've decided. I looked at him seriously. If I die, I want to be buried next to you. Thousands of years later, when they dig us up, will be in the same glass case on display. No, I'm very particular. I only allow women to be buried next to me. You ungrateful scoundrel. I didn't even mind you, yet you mind me? Unknowingly, we walked to the cafeteria. After dinner, we should be able to go back to the dormitory. The cafeteria was brightly lit, but unlike usual, every stall offered meat buns. Do not eat the meat buns from the cafeteria. The message told us not to eat the meat buns, but they were openly being offered. Who needs the meat buns? Who are the ones buying the meat buns? Keep an eye on the people buying meat buns. Sun Huawen was on the same page as me. Sun and Gu. Tao Ran and Xiaozhe, carrying trays, sat across from us. Tao Ran and I saw something incredible in class today. It scared the hell out of my beautiful eyes, Tao Ran said excitedly as he sat down. Just then, Zhou Yiqiang and Huang Peng joined us. Zhou Yiqiang placed his cola on the table, crossed his hands under his chin, and said to Tao Ran, "Please start your story." Immediately, all 6 of us were together. We saw the student council in class, Xiaozhe said while eating a piece of tomato and egg. I'll let Tao Ran tell the rest. He seems eager. In that rainy afternoon, Xiaozhe and I walked into the classroom with our hearts in our throats. The teacher stood at the podium, motionless like a statue, giving a more mysterious smile than Mona Lisa. At that moment, I felt like Louis XVI being sent to the guillotine. Zhou Yiqiang lost patience and said to Tao Ran impatiently, "Stop it. Xiaozhe, you tell it." "Wait, I'll tell it properly." Tao Ran obviously didn't want to give up the opportunity to Xiaozhe. During class, a student's phone rang. He answered the call, and the teacher said he would punish him. The student then killed the teacher. Tao Ran's story jumped too quickly for me to follow. That's it. Yeah. Can you tell it in more detail? You rushed through it like you were in a hurry to reincarnate. Zhou Yiqiang expressed his dissatisfaction again. I'll tell it in detail, and you say I'm slow. You're so fickle. Tao Ran finally added a few more words. According to Tao Ran, that student acted arrogantly and recklessly. Of course, this was probably Tao Ran exaggerating. Arrogant and reckless people wouldn't make others fear them from the bottom of their hearts, so I trusted Xiaozhe's words more. In Xiaozhe's description, the student's eyes were hollow, his expression stiff, and he stood up slowly, like a rusty machine. The student floated through desks and other students like gas to the podium and took out a square box. The box wasn't big, about the size of 2 mobile phones on each side. The student lifted the teacher and stuffed him into the box, completely. A pool of red liquid covered the floor. The student, expressionless, did all this and then walked out of the classroom, moving stiffly. Tao Ran and Xiaozhe huddled together in fear, trembling. Since it wasn't yet time for the class to end, everyone in the classroom had to endure the terror. How do you know that person was from the student council? He asked Xiaozhe. Every side of the box was labeled student council. Sun Huawen thought for a moment and said, "But the student council people are different from normal people and dead people, right? Can you tell from just looking at them?" Yes, Xiaozhe nodded. Sun Huawen reached a conclusion. The student council might not be good at disguising, but they are extremely dangerous. I remembered the information from the message. There are no people in the student council. Will the student council people attack us? You only saw them attack the teacher, right? They sat among so many students without attacking them, right? Zhou Yiqiang asked a foolish question. Since you think that, I can't help it. I'll pack your things later. You can sleep in the student council room. When you die, I'll bring you back. Tao Ran, the gentleman who exacts revenge, finally found an opportunity to retort Zhou Yiqiang. Sun Huawen thought for a while and said, since the student council exists, they won't just sit idly by. I think there are 2 possibilities. First, the student council attacks under certain conditions, such as offending the student council, which gives them the condition to attack. Second, it's not yet time. What do you mean by it's not yet time? Zhou Yiqiang asked. I understood Sun Huawen's meaning and explained to Zhou Yiqiang, it means they won't act in the first few days. They wait until the end to catch us all at once. That's terrible. I patted Zhou Yiqiang on the shoulder to comfort him. Don't be so pessimistic. It's only 7 days. Just hang in there. Speaking of pessimism, the most pessimistic one is Huang Peng. He's been checking out coffins, deciding whether to get a flip top or a sliding top one. Tao Ran chimed in. Are there touchscreen ones? Recommend one. Hearing this, Sun Huawen couldn't help but laugh. Try to ensure the safety of your roommates. It's hard to survive alone. I suddenly understood the purpose of this rule. Without Sun Huawen and the others, I might not survive even a day. We must all stay safe and leave here alive. After dinner, it was already 8 p.m. We headed to the dormitory. For the first time, the darkness felt so terrifying. Someone saw a dog. Run! In the crowd ahead, a girl screamed, and the crowd scattered in all directions. We started running back, but I noticed that Sun Huawen hadn't moved. Sun Huawen, are you crazy? Run! I shouted at him. You guys go ahead. I'll stay at a distance. We must gather as much information as possible. If I get into trouble, don't hesitate. Bullshit. After all this time, don't you know us? If you die with our brains, we wouldn't survive a day. I'll stay too. If we die together. Hearing my words, my roommates all decided to stay, which was unexpected and quite touching. This time, Zhou Ichiang provided a key piece of information. When he bought the cola earlier, he saw the person buying meat buns. I was completely dumbfounded, watching the whole process. I even thought, this girl, despite her small stature, is really fierce. After hearing Zhou Ichiang's words, Sun Huawen suddenly said, "Run." I didn't know why, but I knew to run when he said so. We sprinted back to the dormitory at full speed, and only then did we let out a sigh of relief. We asked Sun Huawen why he suddenly told us to run. People who see dogs can attract the student council. The temperature seemed to drop several degrees as soon as Sun Huawen finished speaking. But in the cafeteria, why? Zhou Ichiang asked. I'm not sure yet. Now we could only gather two incomplete pieces of information. People who see dogs will eat meat buns. People who see dogs can attract the student council. Maybe, people who see dogs are also the conditions for the student council to attack. Forget it. Let's talk about other things tomorrow. Before 8 in the morning, I won't leave the dormitory. Not only that, none of you are allowed to leave either. If anyone goes out, they are against me. Zhou Ichiang locked the door and declared. Actually, there was no need to be so dramatic. None of us wanted to go out anyway. The dormitory had a private bathroom, so we had no reason to leave. We stayed safely until around 10. After 11 p.m., do not open the door to anyone doing room checks. It was almost 11. I was feeling a bit anxious. Looking at my roommates, they were putting on a brave face but were obviously nervous. Tao Ran, can you stop playing games? It's almost 11 and they will check the rooms. Top, top, top. A series of rhythmic footsteps approached from afar. Knock, knock, knock. 3 knocks on the door of a nearby dorm room. Open the door, room check. Is anyone there? It was a female voice with an echo. There was no answer. The door was knocked again. One knock after another. The knocking grew louder and louder, eventually becoming deafening. This wasn't a room check. It was a death sentence. Boom, boom, boom. Anyone unaware would think there was an explosion outside. After about 10 minutes, the noise stopped. For a moment, it was so quiet that even breathing could be clearly heard. Top, top, top. The footsteps moved to the next dorm room. Help, I'm scared. Tao Ren swallowed hard. I'm worried about our door. It's older than me. Can it withstand this? Zhou Ichiang patted the door. Don't be so rough. Move aside. What if you damage the door? Who's going to answer for it? Tao Ran pushed Zhou Ichiang away. The 6 of us sat around the table, staring at the door, listening to the footsteps outside. It was our turn. I took a deep breath. The footsteps stopped at our door. Open the door, room check. Is anyone there? It was still that female voice. Knock, knock, knock. Still polite, 3 knocks. We knew this was just the calm before the storm. Sure enough, the knocking grew louder and more intense. We could see the door caving inward with each knock. Each knock was like a meteor hitting the moon. The strange thing was, after the door caved inward, it immediately bounced back to its original shape, as if it were elastic. We all sighed in relief. Except for some ear damage. It wasn't too bad. It seemed room checks weren't that scary. Who would be foolish enough to open the door? After about 10 minutes, the room check moved on. We were temporarily safe. Oh, let's give a round of applause to our door. Thank you. Without you, we'd be dead. Door, door. What would we do without you? Love you, moi. From now on, I'll light 3 incense sticks for you every morning, noon, and night. Zhou Ichiang hugged the door and kissed it several times. Door, having you is my misfortune. While we were celebrating, we suddenly heard the sound of a door lock clicking open next door. No way. Did someone really open the door? Immediately, we heard a group of men screaming. It lasted for about 5 seconds before the floor returned to dead silence. What happened? No one knew except for the people in that dormitory. The footsteps continued to the next dorm room. Top, top, top. What happened? Zhou Ichiang was sweating. Door, are you reliable? If the people inside don't open the door, no one outside can enter. But what if someone inside opens the door? Why open the door? Who opened the door? The atmosphere became heavy again. Sun, analyze this and comfort my fragile heart. Zhou Ichiang looked at Sun Huawen. Let me ask you, do those dead people return to the dormitory at night? Sun Huawen's question was clear. If your roommate goes out and gets replaced without you knowing, they could ambush you and open the door when room checks happen. Isn't the dormitory supposed to be absolutely safe? Huang Peng was pale. The dormitory is absolutely safe. That statement was true, yet seemed a bit misleading. If that's the case, is all the provided information correct? Are the rules to be strictly followed? What should be done with a roommate who has been replaced? And what about the people who see dogs? Why do they see dogs? Are they still alive? Tonight, sleep was elusive. I opened my eyes. Today is the second day. It's now 7 a.m. and the sky is already bright. My roommates gradually woke up too. I have an 8 a.m. class, so I need to hurry. Zhou Ichiang and Huang Peng are the same as always. If they don't have classes, they head straight to the library. They probably never thought they'd love studying so much. Today, Sun Huawen also plans to check out the library. And just like me, Xiao Zhe and Tao Ran have the misfortune of having an 8 a.m. class, but they aren't in the same class as me. It seems I'm destined to be alone in this class. Everyone, stay in touch and be careful. And remember, don't go back to the dormitory after 8 a.m. Sun Huawen repeatedly reminded us like an overprotective mom. I packed my things and set off on my own, stepping into the unknown, feeling a mix of desolation, pity, and melancholy. Opening the dormitory door, I saw the door of the room that had opened during the room check had turned white. The ghostly white door sent chills down my spine. From the white dormitory, a few students walked out, chatting and laughing as if nothing had happened. But they were definitely not normal anymore. Is this the exterminated dormitory? One of the people in the white dormitory greeted me, and I forced a smile in return. Being so close to such a dormitory made me shiver with fear. Even though I arrived in the classroom 10 minutes early, my classmates were even earlier. The classroom was packed, with only one seat left. Did you all come so early? Doesn't it violate the rules? Apparently, the rules don't say anything about that. Damn, they're all so smart. I had no choice but to take the only available seat. After sitting down, I realized the person next to me was the guy who was scrolling Douyin during our advanced math class yesterday. Now I felt uneasy, both staying and leaving. Oh well, as long as I don't talk in the classroom, he can't bother me, right? I'll just leave after class and stay away from him. To my surprise, he passed me a note. The note read, "I remember you. You asked me a question last time. As a return favor, you have to have lunch with me after class. You won't refuse, right? Shouldn't I refuse? I don't even know your name." Just as I was about to refuse, he passed me another note. The note read, "Those who refuse me are dead. I'm not threatening you. If this isn't a threat, what is?" I didn't know what these guys were capable of, so I had no choice but to agree for now. I nodded. I couldn't focus on the lecture at all, though I rarely did anyway. My top priority now was to get rid of this guy. One thing I learned, never ask for help from abnormal people, not even asking questions, because they will demand something in return, probably leading to death if you refuse. Don't owe abnormal students favors, not even a bit. After a bout of frustration, a spark of inspiration hit me. If you have problems outside the dormitory, find the counselor. Right now, I had a big problem. After class, I walked out of the classroom and told the guy, "Wait for me. I need to grab something from upstairs." He gave me a strange smile and said, "Don't try to run. I can find you wherever you go, and you'll be punished." "I won't run. Just wait for half an hour." "Okay." I hurried to the 4th floor, to the counselor's office. I knocked on the door. "Come in." I entered and explained my situation to the counselor. The counselor didn't say a word, just handed me a piece of paper and motioned for me to leave. Standing at the door of the counselor's office, I opened the paper. It had 3 lines of text. 1. You can go to the principal's office, but you must not say that you can go to the principal's office. 2. Sending abnormal students to the principal's office is the right thing to do. 3. Abnormal students have mixed up memories. They have long forgotten the rules. The paper disintegrated into dust after I read it. My only way out was to get that guy to go to the principal's office. But how could I make him go? Should I just tell him? When I returned to the guy, the first thing I said was, "The principal wants to see you." "The principal's office can be visited?" he asked. My heart raced. Had he realized I was setting him up? Abnormal students have mixed up memories. They have long forgotten the rules. This meant he had forgotten the rule about not going to the principal's office. Just as I was about to answer, yes, I paused. "You must not say that you can go to the principal's office." I changed my response. "Hurry up, the principal is looking for you. Move quickly. Didn't you say you wanted to eat? I'm starving. I'll wait for half an hour. If you don't come back, I'm leaving." Fine. Watching him leave, I still kept my guard up. What if he came back unscathed? Then I really wouldn't know what to do. All I could do was hope he didn't come back. Time ticked by. Luckily, after half an hour, he didn't return. From this incident, I got a piece of information. The principal's office is the correct place to deal with abnormal students. I summarized what happened and shared it in the dorm group chat. With some time left before lunch, I decided to check out the library, but it was packed again. No problem, I could go to the study room to hide. I was even willing to sacrifice 6 more days if the library continued to be packed. At least it meant most people around were normal. Entering the study room, I found a random seat and sat down. I didn't plan to talk to anyone, just listening. The study room was different from yesterday. Yesterday, people shared what they knew unconditionally. Today, if you wanted information, you had to exchange it. Freeloaders were isolated, even given false information. People exchanged information via text messages. If only they talked openly, I could eavesdrop. I have inside information about the dog. Want it? Dog. The term naturally referred to those who saw dogs. I looked at the person who said that. Yes, I'll exchange information with you. I want a method to deal with abnormal people. This. If you don't have it, leave. I'm not trading. This information was hard to get. If not for a problem in my dorm, I wouldn't share it. Dealing with abnormal people? How fortunate I have that information. I walked over and said, "Bro, is your info reliable?" "Definitely more reliable than yours." He gave me a dirty look. "I have the information you need." "Really? I've been asking around and no one knows. Don't lie to me or I'll..." He shook his fist at me. "I got the information about the dog. To be fair, the guy was very straightforward. He gave me several pieces of information. Don't make eye contact with cats. If you do, you must feed them. Refusal to feed them will make you see dogs. People who see dogs are student council's lackeys. People who see dogs are alive. People who see dogs can return to normal after helping the student council deal with 25 people. People who see dogs can summon the student council after dark. People who see dogs only need to eat one meat bun a day. This information wasn't easy to get, was it? How did you manage? I looked at him in surprise. Wait until I verify your information, then I'll tell you. Still playing mysterious? I didn't press further, just copied and shared the information in the dorm group chat. Seeing the information about the dog, the dorm group chat became lively. Tao Rand. Gu, you got so much information today. Impressive. Xiaozhe. Is the information reliable? Even Sun hasn't figured out the dog situation. Me, I don't know, but it's better than nothing. Sun Huawen. I'll analyze this information. Zhou Yiqiang. Let's meet for lunch at the usual place. Looking at the time, it was indeed lunchtime. When I arrived at the cafeteria, Tao Ran and Xiaozhe were already there. Did you see anything in class today? I asked Tao Ran and Xiaozhe. Tao Ran shook his head. Wouldn't want to see that every day. It'd scare me to death. When I sat down with my tray, Zhou Yiqiang, Huang Peng, and Sun Huawen showed up. Any findings? I asked Sun Huawen. Zhou Yiqiang interrupted. Ensuring our own safety is the biggest finding. You and I have to be normal, so everyone can be normal. Makes sense. Halfway through our meal, my phone rang. It was a message from the guy I exchanged information with earlier. The message said, I used to be the dog. He used to see dogs. That means he returned to normal in less than a day. He helped the student council deal with 25 people. In less than a day. That guy is ruthless. Fighting for survival with all he has. I shared the message with my roommates. Everyone fell silent. Now we could confirm the information was correct. After dark, it's very dangerous. Try not to stay outside after dark, Sun Huawen said. It's very dangerous outside after dark. After lunch, I went to my afternoon class. But this class wasn't as easy as the previous ones. I noticed there were always a few people in class who would harass others, trying to make them make a noise. Keep quiet in the classroom. Those people wanted others to break the rules. I had a vague feeling that on the second day, the difficulty of survival was increasing. After finally making it through class, I hurried to the bathroom. Maybe I should drink less water next time. After relieving myself, I was washing my hands when I heard a voice from the stall. Hey, do you have any extra toilet paper? Don't talk to anyone in the bathroom stalls. I didn't respond and was about to leave. Then the voice spoke again. Is there a need to follow the rules? Maybe the one who wants you dead is the rule maker. Blindly following the rule maker leads to certain death. Following the rules will get you killed. Not following the rules will also get you killed. It's just a matter of time. I paused for a moment, but didn't hear the voice again. Following the rules also leads to death. Suddenly, a rule echoed in my mind. Don't easily trust anyone. Here, anyone could mean anyone outside of yourself, including the rule maker. The rules were like guiding lights, but whether they led to heaven or hell was unknown. But did the voice in the bathroom tell the truth? For a moment, I felt like I was in a fog. What happens if I talk to the voice in the bathroom? Curiosity almost got the better of me, but I remembered that curiosity killed the cat. There's no time today. I'll ask around in the study room tomorrow. Maybe someone knows. I finished dinner in a daze and returned to the dormitory. On the way, I saw someone feeding a cat. To avoid becoming someone who sees dogs, they chose to feed the cat. I didn't dare look closely, just glanced quickly and walked away. The white cat made a strange meow sound and then ate the person's legs. That person wouldn't survive long. Vultures circled overhead, ready to feast once the person died. Back at the dormitory building, I had barely climbed to the 5th floor when I saw a figure in a black long coat with his back to me. The man was tall and walked strangely. The most crucial detail was his red high hat. Damn, I'm so unlucky today. I must have used up all my good luck in the morning. If you see someone wearing a red high hat in the dormitory hallway, immediately seek help from the dormitory manager. Do not look back. I scrambled down the stairs and knocked on the dorm manager's window. Help. Dorm manager, help. I saw someone wearing a red high hat. I could feel my tongue tying up as I spoke. I had a feeling that the person with the red high hat was very terrifying. I even thought they were scarier than the student council. I was afraid they would cling to me. Don't go back to your dorm tonight. Sleep in my office. Alone. Want me to find some ghosts to keep you company? No, thank you. I quickly refused. My office isn't within the room check range, but don't open the door for no reason. You can't be sure whether the person with the red high hat is standing outside, waiting for you to open the door. Remember, the office is absolutely safe. Do not leave the office. If you see anything, tell yourself it's just an illusion. What did she mean by anything? I had a feeling tonight would be tough. When the lights went out, I'd be alone in this small, dark office, with the person with the red high hat possibly standing outside. Thinking about it made my legs go weak. I told my roommates what was happening in our group chat. Me, don't wait for me tonight. I saw someone with a red high hat, so I have to stay in the office tonight. Tao Rand, see if there's any souvenirs in the office, and bring one back for me. Me, The dorm manager said there are ghosts. How many would you like? Tao ran. Take care. See you later. I entered the office at 8:15 p.m. The dorm manager helped me close the door and then left. Alone in this small, square room, I felt like I was locked in a box. Wait, a box. I thought of the student council's box. The thought flashed through my mind. No, it can't be. Just then, Sun Huawen started a group call. Surprisingly, there was signal in the office. I picked up, and the first voice I heard was Zhou Yiqiang's. Gu, how's it going? If you see any pretty girl ghosts, remember to take a picture for me. Sun Huawen, talk about the rules in the office. I'll analyze them for you. I ignored Zhou Yiqiang and repeated what the dorm manager had told me to Sun Huawen. Focus on this. The office is absolutely safe. However, there will definitely be something that makes you doubt the safety of the office, trying to lure you out. All you need to do is not open the door no matter what. It sounds simple enough. I understand. The office had only one dim, yellow light. I stared at the light, fearing the devil would appear and blow out my only solace. As I was spacing out, a noise came from the door. What now? I turned my head to look. What I saw almost made my head pop off in fear. The person who came in was my teacher. The one who got stuffed into the box by the student council. WTF. 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 All I could say were these two words. What happened? Zhou Yiqiang sounded excited. I see the teacher who got stuffed into the box by the student council. That's fake, don't mind it. Sun Huawen reminded me. I know it's fake, but he's sitting across from me, staring at me. It's terrifying. You guys don't understand. His face is all distorted. At that moment, laughter came through the call. Who's laughing? I'm already miserable, and you laugh. Meanwhile, there was knocking on the door. My nerves were on the brink of collapse. By 9:30 p.m., the teacher was still staring at me. Please, I'm begging you, stop staring. Can't you protect your eyesight? Fine, you want to stare. Go ahead. I'm too handsome. Can't help it. I won't look back at you. I turned my head to look out the window. Then I saw a face. That face had no mouth or nose, just two wide open eyes, pressed against the window, staring at me. Above the face, there was a red hi-hat. The person with the red hi-hat. WTF. 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 I immediately turned my head back. Now, looking at the teacher felt much more soothing, even a bit comforting. Ha, goose showtime. Now I knew who laughed before. It was Zhou Yiqiang. Zhou Yiqiang is such a jerk. By 10 p.m., the office was getting more and more crowded with strange things. I closed my eyes, out of sight, out of mind. I felt like a master, surrounded by demons, yet unmoved. Gu Tang, are you in there? I'm coming in. A voice came from the door. I opened my eyes and saw Zhang San coming in. Zhang San was the guy from the exterminated dorm who greeted me. Who let you in? Who gave you permission? Not only did Zhang San come in, but he also didn't close the door. I could clearly see the person with the red hi-hat standing outside. Don't you know how to close the door? Where are your manners? The office is absolutely safe. If you see anything, tell yourself it's an illusion. Gu Tang, stay clear-headed. Do not step out of the office. Sun Huawen's voice came through. Zhang San, being overly familiar, walked over and grabbed my arm, trying to pull me out. What the hell? Can't you see that guy outside is waiting to take my life? I can't go out, I said coldly. Why not? For world peace, for the shining stars, for the surging sea, for the cafeteria's 1.5 yuan eggs. Zhang San. But Zhang San still tried to drag me out. I suspected Zhang San was not an illusion. He genuinely wanted to drag me out and kill me. I warn you, I'll use the law against you if you don't stop. Zhang San, the outlaw, was unfazed. The situation was chaotic. Zhang San grabbed my leg, trying to drag me out, while I clung to the teacher's chair, refusing to budge. Thank you, teacher. I didn't appreciate you before and even thought you were scary. Now I realize you were always looking out for me. Son, what should I do? I called for help. If the teacher stood up, I'd be done for. As I worried, the teacher stood up. I'm done. They're here for room checks. Sun Huawen shouted over the call. Hearing this, Zhang San immediately let go and ran out, even closing the door behind him. Crisis averted. Son, you're amazing. I was just taking a chance. Didn't expect it to work. Sun Huawen sighed in relief. Don't talk to people in the exterminated dorm. They're with the person in the red hi-hat. Thinking about that made me break out in a cold sweat. I warned my roommates to stay away from people in the exterminated dorm. Would Zhang San come back? Probably not. By 11 p.m., the room check started. As long as there were no traitors in the dormitory, room checks weren't scary. During the room checks, I chatted with my roommates amidst the booming sounds. It was almost romantic. Tonight, 3 dorms had issues. Why so many dorms tonight? I asked. Who knows? The library was packed. How could there be so many traitors? Zhao Zhe asked. Wait. Sun Huawen seemed to remember something. How many students are there in our school? A few thousand, Zhou Yiqiang said. How many seats are there in the library? Sun Huawen's question left us all stunned. Yeah, how many seats could there be in the library? Using the library to measure the ratio of living to dead people was wrong information. When seats first appeared in the library, it was already a terrifying situation. Maybe it wasn't safe now. After the room checks, there was the sound of a door opening and closing. Let me in. Please save me. I won't attract the student council. Please let me in, or I'll be killed. A desperate voice came from outside. You're someone who sees dogs. We won't let you in. Forget it. The response was cold. We quietly listened, not saying a word. People who see dogs, what do they mean by it? Why didn't they open the door during the room checks? The office I was in, the person with the red high hat couldn't get in. The office always reminded me of the student council's box. The lights went out and everyone needed to rest. I ended the call. Lying on the office floor, I closed my eyes but couldn't sleep. It wasn't the fear of the surrounding demons or the person with the red high hat outside. I couldn't sleep because I felt these pieces of information were connected, and I thought I could find those connections. In the dark space, I listened to my breathing mixed with the soft knocking outside. For the first time in my life, I thought seriously and focused. I felt like I knew something. People who see dogs won't open the door during room checks. The person with the red high hat is with the room checkers. The student council and the person with the red high hat are opposing forces. So the person with the red high hat can't enter the box. The box is the office. People in the exterminated dorm fear the room checks, but they're also with the person with the red high hat. So Zhang San wanted to drag me out of the office. I remembered another piece of information. People who see dogs are student council's lackeys. So people who see dogs fear being locked outside. And the student council opposes the person with the red high hat, so people who see dogs won't open the door during room checks. It, referred to by those who see dogs, is the person with the red high hat. Daylight broke. Today is the third day, and I was unharmed. You're safe. You can go back now. The dorm manager opened the door for me. I returned to the dormitory. My roommates were just waking up. How was it? I told them the information I had pieced together last night. After I finished, I walked over to Zhou Yiqiang's bed and punched him. You laughed the most last night. I'm a very vengeful person. Gu, there was no choice. I wasn't doing it on purpose. Lunch is on me. Zhou Yiqiang smiled at me. That's more like it. Today, I didn't have an 8 a.m. class, so I decided to go to the library. Zhou Yiqiang had the same idea. Wang Peng and Sun Huawen had classes this morning, so they couldn't go to the library. Xiao Zhe and Tao Ran looked at each other and decided to hide in the library too. The library is absolutely safe. We all love studying. We all love the library. Xiao Zhe, Zhou Yiqiang, Tao Ran, and I headed to the library. On the way, we heard someone say, someone couldn't take it and climbed over the wall to escape. Didn't the text say not to leave the school during lockdown? Who knows? Maybe they went crazy. Breaking the rules means certain death. Another person said, should we check it out? Tao Ran suggested. We all agreed and nodded. The school gate was open, but no one was coming in or going out. I saw a guy leading a girl out. Several boys were climbing over the wall. In the end, the boys who climbed over the wall screamed in terror outside. We couldn't see what happened. The couple walking through the gate had red high hats appear above their heads and disappeared down the street. Do not leave the campus before the lockdown is lifted. Let's go. Don't think about it. I knew now that no one could leave alive. Damn, that scared me. I don't feel like studying anymore. Zhou Yiqiang complained before we entered the library. I rolled my eyes. As if you ever felt like studying. The library was quiet, and knowing it was full of normal people put me at ease. After half an hour, I suddenly needed to use the bathroom. This time, the voice from the stall spoke again. Hey, do you have any extra toilet paper? I didn't answer, and didn't rush to leave. Can you spare a piece of paper? You can't talk to the people in the stalls, but it didn't say you couldn't give them paper, right? And the library is absolutely safe. I walked over and slid a piece of paper under the door. Thank you. After a while, the voice spoke again. The rule maker wants to keep you here forever. Do not stay in the school for 7 days. Do not take bus 17. Don't follow in our footsteps. We hate the student council. We hate the person with the red high hat. After that, the voice didn't speak again. The paper I had slid under the door appeared at my feet. I picked it up and saw a line of text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. One number is missing. What does that mean? Just as I was about to keep the paper and show it to Sun Huawen, the text disappeared after I left the bathroom. Keep quiet in the library, or the librarian will punish you. I didn't tell Zhou Yiqiang or the others about it yet. I was afraid they couldn't control themselves and made a noise. The information was important. I couldn't casually let others know. I'll share it tonight in the dormitory. After staying in the library for 2 hours, Zhou Yiqiang and the others went to class. Just as Sun Huawen's class ended, we arranged to meet in the study room. I was lucky to run into Tang Zhen in the study room. We asked each other the questions and answered correctly. No trates. To be safe, we used our phones to communicate. Tang Zhen, any new information to exchange? Me. What do you want to know? Tang Zhen, I want to know about the exterminated dormitory. Me. I have that. Do you know how to leave the school? Tang Zhen. The rules say to stay for 7 days and take bus 17 to leave. It seemed Tang Zhen didn't know. Meanwhile, Sun Huawen glanced at me. Me. Do you have information about the student council? Like, when they will attack us? Tang Zhen, yes. We exchanged information. We got new information. The student council will launch unconditional attacks in the last few days. Ways to avoid their attacks are unknown. The rule maker wants to keep us here forever. The voice from the bathroom echoed in my ears again. Tang Zhen, you said you wanted to know how to leave? Are you saying the way the rules mentioned is incorrect? Tang Zhen reacted quickly. I was just asking. If we could leave earlier, that would be better. I heard someone climbed over the wall. I thought they might have a way. Tang Zhen, forget it. They're all dead. We chatted about some irrelevant things for a while. After leaving the study room, I was about to explain. With Sun Huawen's intelligence, he must have noticed my odd behavior. Sure, let's talk back in the dormitory. Don't you trust me? Sun Huawen smiled at me. That moment, my heart felt warm. Afternoon passed quickly, my mind occupied by the paper's message. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. One number is missing. What does it mean? The more I thought about it, the more I doubted myself. It was like staring at a word for too long until it seemed unfamiliar. I remembered the voice's words. Following the rules will get you killed. Not following the rules will also get you killed. What if I follow and break the rules at the same time? Maybe that was a way out. I must not be a lamb to the slaughter. Not just a to be killed label. Choose to kill the rules selectively. The rule I chose to kill. Stay for 7 days and take bus 17 when the lockdown is lifted. Do not leave the campus before the lockdown is lifted. When should I leave the campus? I thought while another student died in class. They were stuffed into the box by the student council. One girl fainted from fear, slumping over her desk. I hoped she would wake up before class ended, or she'd be dead. Why did the student council act? The teacher on the podium continued lecturing with a blank expression. Students who made noise hung in the air. Among the hanging students was one who was already dead before. But for making noise, they were hung again. They struggled in midair, their necks stretching to a horrifying length. After class, they were let down, their bodies returning to normal, chatting and laughing as they walked out. I left the classroom to head to my next one. Coincidentally, the guy who was hung and let down was in my next class too. Barely into the lesson, he started causing trouble again. He performed a beatbox routine in front of the teacher. Impressive. I was utterly shocked. So, he was hung again. Would he do this every class? Poor guy really. As I mentally mocked him, the rope holding him suddenly snapped. Class wasn't over yet. What was happening? He floated to the podium and took out a box. Student council. Enough times of dying, you become student council. He stuffed the teacher into the box, then faced us from the podium. What did he want? I was tense. Would the student council start unconditional attacks now? Who knew? He performed another beatbox routine. Applaud. Those who don't will go into the box, he said. The classroom resounded with thunderous applause. I was really impressed. The applause continued until class ended. My hands were almost numb. After dinner, I couldn't wait to return to the dormitory. When everyone was gathered, I shared the information I got in the bathroom today. Can we trust the voice in the bathroom? Xiaozhe asked. Gu just said someone in the study room mentioned the student council's unconditional attacks in the last few days. Huang Peng said. Can we trust people in the study room? The rules say not to easily trust anyone. Xiaozhe, what do you mean? I mean I will follow the rules completely. I don't trust the voice in the bathroom. The dorm fell silent. Sun Huawen spoke. Respect everyone's choice, but I stand with Gu Tang. So the dorm split into two factions, the rule followers and the middle ground group. What do you call those who don't follow the rules at all? Zhou Yiqiang suddenly asked. Go to hell. Don't say such nonsense in the future, Tao Ran retorted. The middle ground group. Me, Sun Huawen, Zhou Yiqiang. The rule followers, Xiaozhe, Tao Ran, and Huang Ping. Next, the middle ground group sat together and the rule followers kept to themselves. I repeated the information. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. One number is missing. If I'm not mistaken, the missing number is 5, Sun Huawen said. What does it mean if 5 is missing? Zhou Yiqiang asked. Adding 5, there are 7 numbers in total. The rules say we need to stay in the school for 7 days. But the information from the bathroom says we must not stay for 7 days, which means we need to leave before the 7th day, Sun Huawen explained. I had an epiphany. The missing number is 5. And then? Zhou Yiqiang still didn't get it. Today is the 3rd day. When should we leave on the 5th day? At this point, Tao Ren walked over to us and said, Can I join you guys? Aren't you with the rule followers? Zhou Yiqiang asked. I want to switch sides now. Are you a double agent? And just like that, Tao Ran defected from the rule followers and joined the middle ground group. WTF, WTF, WTF. Zhou Yiqiang suddenly screamed. I related to his sentiment since I said the same thing many times last night. What happened? Huang Peng asked. The door won't close. What? We all exclaimed. It wasn't me. I just walked over, and it was like this. Zhou Yiqiang quickly explained. I'll go find the dorm manager, Sun Huawen said, heading out the door. If you have any problems inside the dormitory, find the dorm manager. After a while, Sun Huawen returned. The dorm manager said if the door is broken, we need to stay in a white dorm for the night. They'll fix the door tomorrow. A white dorm certainly meant an exterminated dorm. I thought of Zhongsan. Fortunately, there were many exterminated dorms. We didn't choose Zhongsan's dorm. Zhongsan, let's end our ill-fated relationship here. Don't forget the rules for staying in an exterminated dorm, Sun Hwawan reminded us. Do not eat anything or talk to anyone in the exterminated dorm. We did some psychological preparation and knocked on the door of a white dorm. Welcome, welcome. The 6 people inside didn't ask why we were there. They just warmly welcomed us. We entered without saying a word. Thirsty? Have some water. One of them handed me a cup of red liquid. This obviously couldn't be consumed, right? I shook my head. What I worried about most was Zhou Yiqiang. He talked a lot and wasn't the brightest. Please don't mess up. Until I glanced at Zhou Yiqiang and realized I had underestimated him. At some point, he had taped his mouth shut with clear tape. Not only could he not eat, but he also couldn't talk. I had to say, impressive. Unexpectedly, Zhou Yiqiang was the smartest among us. When it was time for room checks, the door of our white dorm wasn't knocked on. Room checkers do not check white dorms. Faintly, we heard another dorm had a traitor and opened the door. Spending the night in the exterminated dorm wasn't too bad. Just don't talk or eat, and you're fine. In the middle of the night, I heard someone talking to me. Are you asleep? I was half asleep and almost answered. Then I jolted awake. I mustn't talk to people in the white dorm. In the dark, I saw someone crouched by Tao Ran's side, asking if he was asleep. That fool Tao Ran would definitely respond. Before Tao Ran could answer, I quickly asked, Tao Ran, have you been secretly in love with me for 3 years? Yes. Tao Ran answered. So now, Tao Ran was talking to me. The person crouched by Tao Ran's side glared at me in the dark. I didn't dare sleep for the rest of the night and stayed awake until dawn. Today is the 4th day. Our middle ground group had a very important task, figure out when on the 5th day we should escape. We didn't have much time. If we couldn't figure it out today, our middle ground group would be doomed. I went to the bathroom to look for information, while Sun Hwawan went to the study room. I'm going to the library to hide. Ensure your safety. That's all you need to do, Sun Hwawan told Zhou Yiqiang and Tao Ran. Why? Don't you trust me? Zhou Yiqiang pointed at Sun Hwawan. I'll tell you, I love it when you look down on me. That's how we went our separate ways. Since our dormitory split into 2 factions, communication between the groups had significantly decreased. But it couldn't be helped. After all, different paths don't lead to the same goals. I felt that Huang Peng seemed to want to join our middle ground group, but maybe he was too shy to say it. He never mentioned it. Actually, he should be braver. Sometimes, missing out is just missing out. But I wouldn't invite him to join because I didn't know if the path I was taking was correct. Everyone's life path is their own choice. If I'm wrong, I won't regret it. I hope he won't regret it either. I arrived at the library and headed straight to the bathroom. After waiting for half an hour, no one spoke to me. Where is everybody? Say something. Is business that busy? I went to another floor's bathroom and waited another half hour. Still, no one spoke. Dejected, I returned to sit across from Zhou Yiqiang and Tao Ran. Zhou Yiqiang gave me a sly smile. He even started wriggling in his seat. What did you eat to be so happy? After sitting down, Zhou Yiqiang sent me a message. I got information. Me nice. No wonder he was so pleased, fishing for compliments. Sun Hwawan added me to a new group chat named Middle Ground Group. In the group, I asked Zhou Yiqiang how he got the information. Zhou Yiqiang. Someone asked me for paper. I gave them a whole pack. They returned it, and each sheet had words on it. Me. Did you not talk at all? Zhou Yiqiang. Why would I talk? They just wanted paper. Should I have said no? Do I seem that stingy? Sun Hwawan. What's the information? You can try looking at the moon at 4 a.m. With luck, the wolves will let their guard down. Once there were 3 brothers standing in a row. The one in the middle died. The brothers on either side left. The middle brother was unhappy and killed another brother. One brother ran away. The wolves are very sensitive to the smell of your food. You might find a way. Tao Ran. What's the way? Zhou Yiqiang. I don't know. The paper didn't say. Me. You had a whole pack of paper and only 3 sheets had information? What kind of scam artist did you meet? Zhou Yiqiang. Could I have used the rest? Sun Hwawan. Did you guys have breakfast today? Zhou Yiqiang. Why do you ask? Sun Hwawan. From now on, no one is allowed to eat anything. Zhou Yiqiang protested first. Why? I'll die if I don't eat. Sun Hwawan. The wolves must refer to some danger. Since we don't know how to deal with it, we won't eat any food. Me? Brilliant. Sun Hwawan was truly impressive. I let Sun Hwawan handle the rest. In the afternoon, all 6 of us went to the library. Luckily, we arrived early and got seats. Xiao Zhe and Huang Peng sat close to us. Sun Hwawan sent a message in the group chat. Do not share our group's information with anyone else, including Xiao Zhe and Huang Peng. I understood the reasoning. Our middle ground group no longer had aligned interests with the rule followers. Even though there hadn't been any conflicts yet, people. It's like Xiao Zhe and I were once really close, but now I'm firmly in my group. Sun Hwawan sent another message. On the 5th day, we leave at 4 a.m. Sun Hwawan then explained why we leave at 4 a.m. on the 5th day. The wolves refer to some danger, but what exactly, I don't know. The information says we can look at the moon at 4 a.m., and with luck, the wolves will let their guard down. What does with luck mean? Luck involves probability. The rules say we need to stay in the school for 7 days. If within those 7 days, there's a day when the wolves let their guard down, that's probability luck. The key is, which day do the wolves let their guard down? Remember the missing number? Yes, 5 is missing. The 5th day is the 1/7 chance. The lucky day when the wolves let their guard down. The middle brother story, I don't fully understand. Zhou Yiqiang immediately responded. Maybe it's a red herring. Don't worry about it. I'm already eager to escape. If we hadn't received the information about leaving on the 5th day, the information Zhou Yiqiang got would be meaningless. The information was interconnected. We were lucky to gather the pieces that led to our escape route. According to Sun Huawen's analysis, the rule we would break this time was, do not leave the dormitory after midnight. Wait until daylight. It's now the 5th day. At 4 a.m., the moon was very bright. I couldn't tell if the moonlight was a beacon of hope or flames luring us to self-destruction. No regrets. I told myself. Sun Huawen and the others were awake too. Except for one phone. We didn't bring anything. I'm going to open the door. Prepare yourselves mentally, I whispered. Quietly, I opened the door. There was nothing outside. We stepped out and closed the door behind us. At this moment, Xiao Zhe and Huang Peng were completely separated from us. We left the dormitory and the campus was eerily quiet. Unlike the previous days, this silence wasn't suffocating but rather calming. We were leaving, never coming back. We walked towards the school gate. The gate was wide open. Who's going first? Zhou Yiqiang asked. We'll go together. The dorm door is closed. There's no going back, Tao Ran said. So the 4 of us stood side by side at the school gate. I'll count to 3. We'll all step out with our right foot, I said. I'm used to stepping out with my left foot. Zhou Yiqiang raised his hand. Fine, just you then. We'll step out with our left foot. 3, 2, 1. We stepped out. Not just stepping out with our left foot, but our right foot too, and we were fine. Let's go to the bus stop. Sun Huawen smiled. At the bus stop, our excitement turned heavy. There were 3 buses at the stop. 16, 17, and 18. We can't take the 17, I said. It must be one of the other 2. Then what are we waiting for? Let's choose the one we like, Zhou Yiqiang said eagerly. Wait, Sun Huawen stopped Zhou Yiqiang. I understand now. Understand what? 16 and 18 have only one correct bus. If we choose the wrong one, we'll still die. Once there were 3 brothers standing in a row. The one in the middle died. The brothers on either side left. The middle brother was unhappy and killed another brother. One brother ran away. 17 is the middle brother? I asked Sun Huawen. Yes, that's correct. Then which bus do we take? We don't have enough information. I don't know. Zhou Yiqiang regretted. I should have gone to the bathroom more. It wouldn't have mattered. I went 18 times and no one spoke. We've come this far, and it's already a miracle. Sun Huawen nodded. Who is right? Let's leave it to fate. I choose bus 16. Sun Huawen and Tao Ran chose bus 16, while I and Zhou Yiqiang chose bus 18. I smiled bitterly. At least 2 of us might survive. Not necessarily. If the bathroom people lied, we're all doomed. Tao Ran laughed. Go away. Stop jinxing it. Tao Ran, if you survive, fix your mouth. Or someone will want to slap you. Zhou Yiqiang joked, kicking Tao Ran lightly. Alright, maybe we'll all survive. After all, you said the middle brother's story was a red herring. And so, we boarded our respective buses. At 5 a.m., the buses started. Sun Huawen sent a message in the group chat. Take a nap. Whether we live or die, we'll be at peace. Me, okay, take care. Tao Ran, okay, take care. Zhou Yiqiang, okay, take care. I was awakened by someone leaning on me. I opened my eyes to see Zhou Yiqiang lying on my shoulder. We survived. Zhou Yiqiang, we survived. I shouted, waking him up. WTF. Really? WTF. 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 Zhou Yiqiang shouted several times. We were sitting at the bus stop on campus, and the people waiting for the bus looked at us like we were crazy. We didn't care. After the excitement, I thought of Sun Huawen and Tao Ran, and Xiao Zhe and Huang Peng. Sun. I choked up after saying just 3 words. It was Sun Huawen who let us out, yet he didn't make it. Zhou Yiqiang wiped his tears and said, let's check the school. Maybe they're back. We walked to our school's gate, only to find it desolate. I anxiously grabbed a passerby. Where's the school? The passerby looked at me confused. What school? Where's the school? Are you drunk? Go home. We must be in the wrong place, I said to Zhou Yiqiang. We hailed a taxi to K University. It was our familiar campus, but all the faces were unfamiliar. We returned to our dormitory, only to find 4 strangers. Where are Sun Huawen and Tao Ran? Zhou Yiqiang asked. Who? What are you talking about? One of the strangers replied. Another stranger walked over. Tang, where have you and Zhou been? You both vanished last night. Yeah, not cool. Next time, remember to bring us. Zhou Yiqiang looked at me. Do they seem familiar? Yes, but don't ask. Don't say too much, I replied. To avoid being seen as crazy, we must follow the new rules. A voice echoed in my mind. Blend in with everyone and don't mention that incident to anyone.